Nole insiders Tim Lenefelt and Lane Hurt here after Monday's Jimbo Fisher press conference. Probably one of the biggest pieces of news out of it was Bobo Wilson out for the season. He just had surgery. A guy who's had a tremendous senior year, a real disappointment for Bobo.
Yeah, you hate to see it for somebody like that, and you mentioned it. At the time of his injury, which was during that Wake Forest game a few weeks back, he was actually Florida State's leading receiver and was having a really nice year. Had that 89-yard punt return for a touchdown earlier this season. That's actually still the longest in the country this year. So was off to a great start in his senior year, and you just, more than anything, you hate to have a guy's career end due to an injury. That's the second senior we've seen go through something like this. Nate Andrews, of course, was lost for the season earlier this year, and it's just, you feel for those guys. They've been here for a long time, and especially for Bobo and Nate, some of the last members still remaining from that 2013 national championship team, and on and on and on. So you hate to see it for him. He's I think, a guy who's grown an awful lot since he arrived at Florida State and has been a steady part of this team.
Also in the press conference, I think he kind of got lost in the shuffle a little bit in Florida State's comeback win. 35 straight years now Florida State's been bowl eligible. A tremendous streak considering, you look at teams like Florida, Michigan, USC, Texas, powerhouse schools, all have missed bowls during that span, but Florida State has continued winning season after winning season.
Well, there's some this season that aren't going to make it. Oregon and Michigan State, if they're not already eliminated, they're dangerously close. Those are teams that were in the playoffs each of the last 2 years. So it's kind of thing for Florida State, you've gotten so used to it that it's easy to take for granted, and I understand that. It's an easy thing to do, and you lose track of it. But look, this will be the 35th straight year, which ties the national record set by Nebraska, which means literally no other school ever has been to a bowl game for 35 straight years. So it is something, I think, to celebrate and just feel good about. I'm not saying you got to print up T-shirts, but it is something to be proud of.
You could print out T-shirts if you wanted. I'm just saying.
All right.
All right. To the game, Boston College here at Doak Campbell Stadium on Friday night. Short week for the Seminoles. I know no one ever likes the short week, and playing on Friday is a little weird, and Jimbo discussed that a little bit.
Yeah, he said they have to condense their week of practice. One of the challenges is that they played a night game on Saturday, didn't get back to Tallahassee until really, really late. I guess it would have been early Sunday morning at that point. And so you don't want to go in pads today for practice, but you kind of have to just sort of condense your practice schedule, and today will be sort of a Monday/Tuesday. They won't go in pads today, which means they won't hit, and tomorrow will be a Tuesday/Wednesday, and then Wednesday will be treated as their Thursday practice. So everything's a little bit different, but the upshot is you at least get to stay home. Boston College played on Saturday too, so they have those challenges as well. And it's just, the reality of modern college football. They want games on Friday nights, and you're going to play in them.
There you have it, Seminole fans. Nole Insiders will have much more this week. Of course, we'll go live on Facebook tomorrow. And then everything's moved up a day. We'll have the game preview and Tim's 1st and 10 on Thursday. And, of course, your 3 keys. Got to get to work on these things. And our 3 keys on Friday as Florida State gets ready for BC. So for Tim, I'm Lane. If you want your 35 consecutive bowl games T-shirts, you can make your checks payable to me since Tim doesn't want any part of the action.
Check my shop out on Etsy.
Go Noles.